Okay, so what I wanted to talk about tonight, so to get into strength and conditioning, right? So that's what this is that we're doing, strength and conditioning. Is, right, you've got to log everything, okay? And I mean, we have these in there, but, you know, what's another way you can log? I mean, everybody's got their phones, you know, but it's important, like what lifts do we need to log, you think? So low bar for sure, clean jerk, the front squat, the clean, your big lifts. I don't really care about how many pull-ups you've done in a row, though that would be good to know. You know, but like I'm not that concerned with that. I mean, if I come up to you and see in Costco, I'd rather know if I said, where's your low bar at? You should know. I don't really care. You can do 30 pull-ups.
See you in the movie theater.
But I would need you to get to that point where you know where your low bar's at. You know, where's your clean and jerk? You know, oh, it's a 295. I got a PR last week, you know. Hell yeah, we're bumping it out. You know, like that. That's kind of what I'm trying to build. But if I come, you know, and it's the same thing with your book. What do you got going on with your reading? You know, and you don't know, like I'm going to be pissed. You know, oh, I'm reading this book, and you need to give me details about it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just what I'm promoting. Always, like, you know, you're reading, knowing where you're at with these lists, because then that just tells me that you're into my program, and it makes me happy. You know, and it's the same thing with, you know, eventually getting the proper shoes, you know, the proper wear in the gym. The shorts that go clear down, you know, it's hard to be athletic with those. And I'm not saying you got to go get this sick ass gear. You know, I'm not nothing like that. Don't get that twisted. But just keep that in mind. You want to wear those shorts that are above the knee. Be a little more athletic in them. They maybe don't look as cool, you know, but I don't know, you know. And then the shoes that are flatter. So let's talk about that. So when someone comes in to war, what did I do with you guys with the low bar? Right?
Taught us proper form.
Okay, but what was our rep scheme?
High rep, low weight.
It's like
5.
Yeah, 4 sets, 5 sets of 5.
Yeah.
Right? And we're talking about linear progression. Okay, so we always want to try to progress linearly. So we start you guys off with 5 times 5 on Monday, 4 to 5 times 5 on Monday, right, with the low bar. Okay? And then, so Thursday we're going to low bar again. Okay, we had that Wednesday, which was the remote active rest day. So we had that rest day pretty much going in. We hadn't hit our legs. So Thursday we're going to low bar again. Maybe it's 4 sets times 5, same thing. But however, if you say you did 115 on this day for 5 sets times 5 or 4 sets times 5. So what do we got to be at on this Thursday?
125.
125, 120, I don't care. It's just got to be heavier than 115. And we want to try to, and we're going to do them sets across. So same thing. Sets across means, what do you think sets across means? Sets across means the same load for all 4 or 5 sets across. Okay, so you did 115 for 5 times 5. Maybe you're going to do 125 times 5 times 5, right? Over here on that day. Sets across with 125. So then Monday rolls back around. You had that good weekend experience, kind of that active rest, good, you know. So what are we doing again on Monday? We're going to low bar again. And so if we were 125 then, what do we got to be on 35, whatever. It's just got to be heavier. And on we go, you know, that linear progression from Monday to Thursday, Thursday to Monday. And I'm just focusing on the low bar because my philosophy is that if I can get you strong in this lift first, it strengthens your posterior chain. If I can teach you that perfect technique where you're learning how to use that hip drive coming out of the bottom with pulling with those hamstrings, that it's going to strengthen your posterior chain to the point where it just feeds athleticism into your system. You know what I'm saying? And now when we start getting into the clean and pulling stuff off the ground, your posterior chain is in shape. You know, you're in shape to where you're not going to get hurt. And you know how to use your ass and hammer. Think about it, that deadlift. I mean, where am I at? I'm in a similar position as that low bar, right? I mean, very similar. And from here, the dead, we're going to pull with our hamstrings, pull with our ass in the same way that we're coming up out of the bottom of that low bar. So, I mean, that's the core lift in here. You guys will notice that. And my philosophy is that everything will feed from that, and I've watched it. Okay, so now thinking about the front squat. Okay, so the low bar, we have more of that forward lean, right? You're more pushed forward here. You're doing that hip drive, and you're pulling with those hamstrings. Okay, so what about the front squat? How do we need to be in the front squat?
More vertical, more.
Right, we're gonna put more of that pressure on our quads. We're not gonna be doing the hip drive out of the front squat. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be here. We want to be as upright as possible. Okay, and we want to be able to sit down here, right? Not letting our knees collapse. We driving up with those elbows high, and putting all that pressure right in our quads. Okay, it's a different lift. I got to make that clear because I've seen some people, because we place such an emphasis on the low bar, we got to make it clear that that front squat is a different squat than the low bar. Where it's a different posture, and that bar's sitting right here. Okay. Some of you guys on that front squat, you're getting your wrists all jacked underneath. Your flexibility hasn't gotten there yet. You need to get it right there where it's choking you. I mean, literally choking you. You got that heavy weight, okay, and your elbows are high. You want to take a big breath before you go down. Trap that air in, down, up. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with the low bar. I talk about the breathing. I like getting that big stomach that acts as kind of a natural belt. That low bar, you're driving those knees out hard as you go down. Then you got that belt, that natural belt from that air in your system. And you won't get hurt. I mean, that low bar, it's incredible what that'll do for your posterior chain and just everything else, So that's how it goes, right? So then say somebody gets like a place where kind of like me and Ben and Bub are, where I'm plateauing, So I start messing around with percentages. Eventually we find out where we are at our 1 rep max. So I'm kind of getting there with you guys, right? Yeah. You're getting close to where we're finding out where you are on your low bar for 1 rep max. Okay, so we find that out. Okay, so maybe it's, you get 295, of your 1 rep max. So now we start going into the percentages game, where, you've seen that we've been doing the 5-3-1 model, 5 at 70%. 3, maybe 80, and then 1 at 90, maybe another 1 at 95. Okay? But for you guys, the thing is, you've got to start paying attention to is you're still going to get strong fast. So your ones, you're probably going to be resetting this often. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be resetting at 295, 1, I just set a new PR now on at 305. Now I'm basing all my percentages off of 305. 305 times 0.70 or wherever we're at. Like tonight, tonight's workout was hard. Basing that off percentages, you base that off your 1 rep max. So that's eventually where we get people, you know what I mean? It's easier to start them off at 3 times 5 or 4 times 5 times 5 model and do the sets across model. And we find out where you are for your 1 rep max and then start going into the percentages game. But that's sick. But you can't get into it. You won't understand this art if you don't log. If you come into it every day and you're just like, oh shit, I can't remember. Maybe I was at 265. I don't know hey man, what was I?
What were you?
But just so, and I know you're just getting into it, and it'll come. But just, this is part of it. Knowing where you're at, looking at the blog beforehand. So you see where low bar and understanding, having an idea. I mean, even before you get in here, knowing what weight you're going to use and what weight you're going to attempt. And if you feel good, you guys, like we do in the 5-3-1, or you want to go for a PR, then by all means go for it, and reset it. Like for me, I don't reset mine. I mean, it's not going to be as often it would be for you guys. I'll attempt it, but. I'll probably hear pretty soon, but it's just...
You just attempt it when you feel like...
Yeah, like
I
felt good that one day, and I just felt like I could get it, when I was getting stronger, so I reset it, and now all my percentages have changed. You can see how you get stronger that way, right? So now my 70% my 70% on 405 is now, I PR'd at 410, so now my 70% is higher, because my percentage changed at 410 with my 1 rep max. So, and then it's the same thing, you know, we can get into the percentage with the clean and jerk. I mean, you just basically do the same thing with all of it, and it's not really rocket science, you know? That's what we gotta do, and that'll keep you into it, and so every time we see each other out in public, we're just like, where you at, brother? So, I don't know, you got anything, Bob?
where you at?
It's important. I love looking back, you know, in my journal, seeing where I'm at.